Gosh, this is stupid and cringy. What's going on, my roadies? My name is Dustin, and welcome back to Terraria. This is going to be part number 6. I have a little bit of a confession to make. For some reason, the video did not record. It recorded fine, actually, but my microphone did not record properly, which is a problem. So what you're going to see in this video is me talking over what was previously recorded, but I can't show you my webcam because it's just me talking away with nothing. So let's get into it here. I do want to apologize again if this seems very different. I'm not used to this, so bear with me. So in episode 6, when we were playing and doing things, we wanted to do the Eater of Worlds boss. Now there's a couple of different ways you can go about doing this. The first one that I found is building a giant box around you and then putting a bunch of traps, in my case spiky balls, all over the place. Just as a reminder for everybody who is trying to do this yourself, what you have to do is you have to dig down in the corruption or find a chute that goes all the way down until you find a bunch of demon altars and shadow orbs. From there, you want to bust at least 3 of the shadow orbs. Busting the last one, the third one, will cause the boss to actually spawn, and when it spawns, he will basically chase you. So you want to make sure you have an exit buddy and an exit. Now the fight is pretty straightforward. I'm going to show you the first attempt. You're seeing it right now, actually. The first attempt didn't go over too well because I was still trying to remember how you're supposed to even beat this boss. As you can see, gesture arrows are doing a number on it, but it's just not enough because you kind of have to, like, in my case, I was trying to remember how to trick the AI, and it looks like I'm doing a pretty good job, but the vile spit that happens, I think at least at expert mode plus, or expert master mode past expert mode, they actually become a little too difficult to handle. So I'm trying to throw down spiky balls in an attempt to block a few of them, but as you see, I just got straight up murdered by those things. And whenever you die in this, typically the boss usually goes straight down and despawns right away, so you kind of have to go back and do it again. So this is attempt number 2. I'm just lacing the entire ground once again. I've decided on building this little pit. For some reason at the time, I didn't think that spiky balls would actually, like, stay on platforms. I remember, like, way back in, like, the glory days of Terraria, like really old days, they would just fall through platforms. So for some reason, I'm trying to build this giant spiky pit, and it doesn't really help. Right about here, you can see I noticed, oh wait, I can just put them on the platforms. Plus I made a few summons. So second summon, here we go. It worked out a little bit better, honestly. Like the first round through, he's almost nearly like broke on his head there. You can see the health bar is really low. Just throwing spiky balls everywhere. But this is another attempt that unfortunately did not go over too well. It went better, admittedly, but didn't go over too well. He goes up for the second charge there. He gets completely owned by the spiky balls. If he gets destroyed or killed in the middle and like breaks off into 2 segments, they become little versions of him. If you're fighting this yourself or just by yourself, I would recommend to maybe go a little bit more along the lines of this strategy you're seeing right here. The third time, I'm not going to spoil it, but the third time was definitely better and should be the strategy you use, because when he went to charge straight up just then, you saw that it broke off and immediately went straight back down. So that was an issue that I was running into on this time round. But taking out the mini shark, it wasn't doing bad damage, it just wasn't doing enough. At this point, I think I made one of my first mistakes was I split him in half. You want to try to, as best you can, always aim for his head. Try to always destroy the head segment first. You never want to try to split him in half because the battle just becomes so chaotic so fast. It's actually pretty insane. As you can see too, you don't want to get completely surrounded like that, like I just did. Thankfully, he wasn't long enough to like coil around me, but even the second attempt, unfortunately, did not go too well. Going back to the home base, taking a look at what I want. From the spoils of war, we were able to get a better pickaxe. I also went ahead and made the only other chest piece that I didn't have. I already had the ancient shadow version of the helmet and boots. So with new armor, let's give this another shot. While trying to lace the platforms, I realized there was a ghost, and I'm not sure if that was just like my dead corpse. Because I don't know. I haven't done any research on if ghosts can spawn after you die, but here we go, number 3, second summon. So immediately, it looks like I'm getting hit. This is what you want to try to avoid when you're playing in, like, trying to beat Wall of Flesh, or not Wall of Flesh, totally autopiloted there, Eater of Worlds, or even Destroyer. You don't want it to loop around you. Once it loops around you, it might as well just be GG. You're just giving up at that point. But it looks like during this fight, I was able to kind of manipulate it a little bit. I brought some grenades thinking they might be helpful. They seem to do about the same amount of damage as my mini shark, but to multiple segments, so I just figured I don't need to use the grenades. I'm probably going to end up killing myself. It's just not going to be worth it in the end. So Spiky Balls and Mini Shark is the name of the game for me. As you can see here, it looks like he's just all tangled up. He's playing Twister with himself. I don't know what's going on here, but again, he goes for the wraparound. I teleport back up to the nurse because way up there is actually not the corruption biome. You saw that on the minimap. He tried to dive straight down, and diving straight down, he's trying to despawn. At this point, it's just a thing of bait and switch. Bait him out to one side, he lunges, try to get you, and then you switch to the other side after just laying on some firepower. Try to avoid the spits as much as possible. I actually got lucky with a spiky ball there. I don't know if I can do an instant replay on that, but that was very close. There was a few times during this fight that I just didn't notice how close he was, like that. I didn't notice how close he was to just completely owning me. It was actually pretty insane. At this point, we're less than, I'd say, almost a quarter HP. Maybe a little bit more than that. Got hit by one of the vile spits, but there's a few segments just kind of floating around, some smaller boys. I don't know why. I just panicked, used the fishing rod, but that's a thing I did. Throwing down more spiky balls, a whole bunch of them running at me. Got hit by a vile spit, tried to double tap out of it, hit another vile spit. We just go back up, panic, heal up, go right back down, back into the fray. Hopefully they didn't despawn. Nope, here they come. First segment down that I split. Well, actually, I think it split again. Great. Here we go. Just a little small boy in the big segment left, and then it's GG. No re, you know what I'm saying? Just avoiding more vile spit. The biggest thing, the hardest thing to do in this fight is just avoiding the vile spit. You want to make sure that at the very least you want to avoid that, because at this point in the game, ranged attacks are really crucial to dodge, because melee attacks are going to hurt, but you can kind of dodge that. Ranged attack, that's how this game kind of becomes more like a bullet heck, if you know what I mean. It just starts to become really difficult. And as you can see, I'm not following my own advice, and I'm not keeping him in one segment, but because I'm laying down the spiky balls, I think it's pretty forgivable at this point. If you're struggling with this boss fight, if you're finding yourself splitting it more often than not, try the spiky ball method, rescue a goblin. I almost said golem. Right, especially right here. This is a good example of it. Rescue a goblin and get spiky balls. And then after a little bit of time, we're just going to enjoy the spoils of war. We got ourselves a helmet or a mask, a worm statue, and a little corruptor dude. Pretty nice. And then last thing I do want to mention, I wanted to go and find a golfer. Now, if you're looking for a golfer, I mean, I would highly recommend to take a look at this here. It's known as a Terraria map viewer. I'm showing off on the wiki different ones here, but you want to find one that has specifically a way to download a photo of the actual world. In my case, just so you guys know, I went with one called terramap.github.io. Link will be provided down below for this if you guys want to find it. It gives you instructions on how to find your world. Make a copy of it. Don't ever use the original. That would just be a word of advice from me to you. Use a copy of it, and then you can see your world. So using the map, I was able to relatively easily locate not only a underground like sandstone area, but also a pyramid right in the middle of it. So this is kind of a time lapse right now of me exploring the pyramid, finding out the chest, what was inside it, and then trying to get this golfer. Now, the golfer, he's an NPC that you find underground in the sandstone area. I don't know why the golfer is one of the NPCs that I really like, but it's such a pain to try to get. It really is. You're about to find out why. So while exploring down there, just trying to dig my way down carefully and trying not to get killed by everything else down there, all the ant lions and such. For some reason, this underground area just gives me the heebie-jeebies. It's one of those worlds or one of those areas that just really creeps me out. And again, I'm going to kind of speed this up a little bit and show you the different deaths that occur and the stupid ways that I die. And then the end result is going to be that we do find a golfer, and I'll show you guys what he sells. But just keep in mind, this is a very dangerous place to go to. A lot of the mobs are very high end, and a lot of the cactus balls that you see are, well, for lack of a better word, deadly. I will say one other thing while trying to locate the golfer, and then I'll just, you know, kind of do a little time lapse, jump around here and there. If you're looking for the golfer, one of the best things to do is dig out a large area underground, try to find some of the caves and the tunnels, or use the map viewer if you guys want to. I personally will probably be using that quite a bit during this series because it makes my life a little easier in trying to find things instead of going, is this in my world, and then spending like a couple of days or a couple of episodes wasting your guys' time. I might as well just use that to kind of help speed up the process, make it easier and stuff. Try to, after like lighting up a lot of the underground area, go into the settings, turn the zoom all the way up. Mobs or creatures cannot spawn anywhere on screen. If you zoom all the way in, the areas of mob spawning increases, so you're able to spawn him a little closer to you and potentially on screen if you zoom all the way back out again, if you are the type of person like me where you like to play with max zoom. They say third time's a charm with death and everything else, but while trying to still go around the underground, again, this should be sped up a little bit. I'm just going around, finding some things, just trying to light up the place. Eventually, we find our way to the golfer, and the feeling of accomplishing something that should not have taken so long, it finally comes to fruition, and the golfer is officially another NPC that lives in our town. By the skin of his teeth. Very close to death. He almost died. Last thing I want to show, I'll go ahead and freeze frame here for you guys what the golfer sells. He sells different types of clubs, different flags. You can go ahead and make an entire golf course if you really wanted to, but something that I'm going to show you guys in the next episode that you can do, even though I use the map viewer, you can actually use the golfer to find floating islands. And now, honestly, that's probably going to be the shortest video that you guys see in this entire series. My biggest, widest apology for the microphone not recording. I made a mistake and changed some settings and didn't change them back. So if you guys like this more faster paced TLDR type stuff, I can't guarantee it. But if it does happen again, or this type of issue happens again, at least I'll have a bit more experience. This is literally the first time I've ever done this sort of thing where I kind of commentate over what's already happened instead of just commentating in the moment, because I'm more of a type of person that's like, I want to experience it in the moment and like verbally get out what I need to in the moment, instead of being like, what was I thinking when I was recording this video? If it's more for like entertainment purposes, definitely in the moment. If it's more for like educational stuff, kind of like this was, leave a comment below. Let me know which one you guys like the most. I probably will stick to live more than live reactions, like reacting in the moment when I get something or when something happens, versus this, because it's just a little different, not what I'm used to. So thank you guys so much for your patience, and I really should have gotten this video out earlier, but I was a little demoralized when I found out it didn't record properly. So my bad. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Greatly appreciate it. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button and bell icon to be notified of future videos. If you guys really enjoy the Master Mode series, share the video around. Let people know about the channel. We're on a road to 1,000 subscribers. It would greatly help me out. And I know some people, I've seen comments over the years, I can't believe you don't have more subscribers. Do something. Help a brother out here. I can't do anything to like boost myself, you know. That comes down to you guys. So thank you guys so much for being patient. Thank you guys so much for being awesome. Till next time, stay safe, take it easy, and God bless.